What if everything you thought you knew about Jackie Christie and Chris Webber was completely upside down? In a stunning revelation that's shaking the very foundation of celebrity trust, Jackie Christie has come forward in tears, accusing Chris Webber of orchestrating a financial scheme that runs far deeper and darker than anyone suspected. This isn't just reality TV drama, it's a betrayal that cuts through years of silence, deception, and broken trust. Jackie Christie, well known for her candidness on Basketball Wives and as the fiercely loyal wife of NBA legend Doug Christie, dropped an emotionally raw live stream that instantly rippled across social media. With her voice trembling and eyes red-rimmed, Jackie confessed to a painful truth. Someone she trusted, someone she had defended for years, had used her name and influence to run a covert money operation behind her back. The person she called out by name? None other than Chris Webber, the former NBA All-Star and basketball icon. Jackie claims that Webber exploited her reputation and platform to fuel a business venture she had no real knowledge of, until the fallout made it impossible to ignore. "I vouched for him," she said, "let him into my world, only to find out he was using my name on contracts and financial dealings, and then he disappeared when things went south." The situation took root back in 2021 with Webber's cannabis business, Players Only Holdings, which promised to open dispensaries and create a social equity fund aimed at supporting minority entrepreneurs. Jackie had publicly supported the venture, appearing to champion a good cause, but recent investigations reveal her name was included as a partner or consultant on official documents, without her consent. Legal experts warn this unauthorized use could spell fraud or civil liability, especially as investors who committed funds based on Jackie's perceived involvement are now seeking answers and refunds. One anonymous backer admitted, "I invested $50,000 because I believed Jackie was overseeing things. If she wasn't, I want my money back." So how did this deception fly under the radar for so long? Jackie's silence, many believe, stemmed from a tangled web of loyalty, fear, and the high stakes of public fallout. Now, the truth is finally breaking free, exposing a scandal that challenges the blurred lines between celebrity, trust, and business, and raising urgent questions about who's really in control behind the scenes. Now let's dive into the most intricate layer of this saga, Jackie Christie's unshakable bond with her husband, Doug Christie. Known not just for her fierce personality, but also for a marriage rooted in loyalty, Jackie and Doug have long been seen as a steadfast power couple in the NBA community. Their relationship, forged on mutual protection and deep trust, has weathered countless storms. Yet even Doug wasn't shielded from the fallout of this unfolding scandal with Chris Webber. Behind closed doors, Jackie revealed that Doug had warned her early on about getting entangled with certain figures from his NBA past, Chris Webber included. In a poignant moment during one of Jackie's follow-up live streams, she confessed, "Doug told me, watch yourself. Not everyone you call a friend really is." But I ignored it. I thought, no, not Chris. He's solid. According to insiders familiar with the family, Doug and Chris's relationship was strained long before the scandal erupted. Though briefly teammates with the Sacramento Kings, their dynamic was marked by tension, unspoken rivalry, clashing values, and disagreements on money and fame. Doug, who keeps a low profile and remains fiercely loyal to Jackie, reportedly distanced himself from Webber post-NBA. But Jackie, known for her networking prowess, stayed connected with Doug's former teammates, hoping to translate those ties into business ventures. This, insiders say, is where Chris allegedly seized his chance. Jackie now alleges she was not only duped financially, but emotionally manipulated. "He used my trust, the fact I saw him as family. When Doug warned me, I brushed it off. I should have listened." The plot thickened when private texts, leaked by a former Webber associate, revealed Chris bragging about having Jackie co-sign promotional materials she now insists she never approved. One chilling message read, "If Jackie pushes it, it looks clean. She's got that TV face. People trust her." This suggested Chris may have exploited Jackie's public image as a facade to legitimize his ventures. When Doug eventually discovered the depth of the entanglement, sources say there was a heated confrontation at home. While he didn't accuse Jackie of wrongdoing, he questioned her awareness and timing. He stood by her, but the betrayal stung. It threatened their brand, their marriage, and their legacy. Jackie later admitted that fear of damaging Doug's coaching reputation kept her silent far too long, but guilt and betrayal weighed heavily until she broke her silence. And that's when things took a darker turn. After Jackie publicly named Chris, her claims seemed to vanish from mainstream media. While social platforms buzzed, major outlets like TMZ, The Shade Room, and ESPN remained suspiciously quiet. Jackie revealed during another livestream that, just 72 hours after her viral confession, she received a cease and desist letter from lawyers tied to Weber's business partners, warning her to stop making false and defamatory statements. What shocked Jackie most was the silence from Chris himself. No calls, no messages, just legal threats sent to muzzle her. In the weeks before going public, Jackie said she faced a barrage of veiled warnings, cryptic messages, sudden drops in brand partnerships, and pressure from industry insiders urging her to stay quiet. One anonymous former assistant recounted calls from producers, brand managers, and old friends urging her to let it go or not go up against him. For a woman as outspoken as Jackie Christie, sudden silence is a glaring red flag. "I've been in this game too long not to know when someone's trying to bury the truth," she said. Emails warned her of lost deals. A major brand dropped her days after her post. Legal analysts say cease and desist letters often serve as intimidation tactics in high-stakes financial disputes, not proofs of guilt or innocence. Chris Webber, a celebrated basketball legend turned businessman with diverse ventures, from cannabis to sports media, has a meticulously crafted image. Any scandal could unravel everything. So insiders believe powerful players moved swiftly to contain the fallout. Yet Jackie refused to back down. Despite threats and professional setbacks, she began sharing evidence, screenshots, dates, hints of incriminating texts, vowing to release more if necessary. "If they think I'm scared, they're wrong. I've fought too hard for my family to let anyone drag my name through the mud." This bold stance shifted the narrative, but not without consequences, stalled brand deals, fractured public opinion, and mounting legal battles. Jackie is now reportedly consulting attorneys about filing suit, not just for defamation, but for identity misuse and fraud. While Chris remains publicly silent, it's clear the storm is far from over. And then, just when it seemed the storm couldn't intensify any further, the plot thickened in a way nobody could have predicted. Out of the blue, Jackie Christie received a voicemail from a former associate of Chris Webber, someone she hadn't spoken to or heard from in years. The timing alone was suspicious, but the content of the message was even more explosive. This individual claimed to hold undeniable proof that Jackie's name, likeness, and reputation were being exploited without her knowledge or permission. Specifically, these materials were said to be used in investor presentations and marketing campaigns connected to Chris Webber's various business ventures. At first, Jackie approached the voicemail with a healthy dose of skepticism. After all, years had passed since she had any interaction with this person, and the whole situation felt like a web of rumors and accusations spiraling out of control. But her desperation for answers, for closure, pushed her to listen carefully. What she heard next would only deepen the cracks in what she thought was a trusted relationship. The voicemail contained a brief but profoundly incriminating audio clip, allegedly of Chris Webber himself. In the recording, Chris could be heard discussing plans to include Jackie's name in promotional campaigns, specifically as a tactic to legitimize and close the deal with investors. The clip revealed a cold, calculated effort to leverage Jackie's public image and credibility without her approval. This wasn't just careless oversight or poor communication. This was a deliberate, premeditated strategy to use her influence as a facade. For Jackie, the voicemail was a devastating confirmation of what she had feared. The betrayal was real and much deeper than she initially imagined. The trust she placed in Chris had been weaponized against her, transforming her hard-earned reputation into a tool for someone else's financial gain. This revelation came as a bitter blow. Not only was she being exploited, but it was done, so covertly, behind the scenes, in a way that threatened her credibility and potentially exposed her to legal and financial liability. Consulting with legal experts, Jackie learned that this kind of misrepresentation could constitute fraud. If investors had been induced to contribute funds based on the false impression that Jackie was involved in these ventures, it could open the door to serious civil lawsuits and even criminal investigations. The stakes were high, and the evidence was beginning to pile up against Chris. With this new tangible piece of evidence in hand, Jackie and her legal team started to prepare for a civil suit. They began scrutinizing documents tied to Chris's cannabis company, Players Only Holdings, as well as 2 other failed business ventures from the previous year where Jackie's name had similarly appeared. The scope of the alleged deception was far-reaching and indicated a pattern rather than an isolated incident. Yet beyond the legalities and potential courtroom battles, what haunted Jackie most was the personal betrayal, the painful realization that someone she considered a friend and ally was willing to use her for their own gain without a second thought. This wasn't just a business dispute, it was a profound violation of trust. As the public began rallying behind Jackie, flooding social media with support, the pressure mounted on Chris. Yet he remained silent, his PR team refusing all interview requests, while Jackie refused to back down. This voicemail was more than just an audio message. It was a turning point, shifting the narrative from speculation to undeniable evidence, and signaling that Jackie Christie was ready to fight for her name and her truth. In the voicemail, a voice believed to be Chris Webber's can be heard discussing a strategy to secure Jackie's name for a promotional campaign. He says, "Just say Jackie's involved. That'll help seal the deal. She doesn't need to show up. Just list her like we agreed. She'll come around once she sees the money." Pause and let that sink in. This wasn't a slip-up. If that's truly Chris's voice, it was a deliberate effort to exploit Jackie's reputation and public trust without her consent. Legal experts reviewing this evidence told Jackie that such deception could amount to fraud. Should any investors prove they invested based on the false belief that Jackie was part of the venture, it could trigger a full civil investigation and potentially criminal charges. Now armed with audio proof, screenshots, and testimonies from others involved, Jackie's legal team is reportedly gearing up to file a civil lawsuit. They're combing through documents related to Players Only Holdings, Webber's cannabis company, along with emails linking Jackie to 2 other unsuccessful business deals from 2022. But beyond the courtroom drama, what cuts deepest for Jackie is the betrayal itself. You trust someone, build a partnership, only to realize they were using you all along, valuing you only as long as you served their purpose. That sting of deceit resonates deeply. Fans have rallied behind Jackie, flooding social media with hashtags like "Sacha stand with Jackie" and "Where is Chris Webber?", demanding answers and accountability. Meanwhile, Webber remains silent, neither denying nor confirming the allegations. His PR team has declined all interview requests, and insiders suggest he's lying low, hoping the controversy will fade. Yet Jackie refuses to be silenced. She closed her latest live stream with a powerful vow. "I stayed quiet out of loyalty. Now I'm loud for truth. If you think I'm walking away, think again. This isn't just about me. It's for every woman who's been used and told to stay." Silent. This isn't simply a tale of former NBA stars or a failed business venture. It's a story of trust broken, names misused, and a woman rising to claim her voice when it matters most. Jackie Christie isn't stepping back, and as more revelations come to light, one thing is crystal clear: truth cannot be bought or buried. So, what's your take? Was Jackie set up by Chris Webber? Is this a glimpse into a wider pattern where women's voices are stifled when money's involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments. No holding back. We're tracking every twist as it unfolds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you believe Jackie deserves justice.